Hey guys, welcome back to Broken Journey, the podcast. I am your host, Elba Rivera. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are having a good morning, a good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is that you're listening. I hope that your day is going well so far. Today, on this episode, I am raw with you. And I talk about some of the negativities that I'm feeling and that I have been feeling for these past couple of days. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hey guys. I wanted to talk today a little bit about overcoming obstacles and working on fear. So, as you know, this is a podcast about, different journeys, broken journeys, and all kinds of journeys that we go through in life. And lately, I have been struggling with getting things together with my podcast, with my business, and also working a full-time job. And sometimes I feel like I have too much on my plate. You know how when you're very hungry and you go to serve yourself food, like you overdo it. And then you find yourself having still too much on your plate. So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. And I thought I'd, kind of talk about it here and do like a raw version of what I'm feeling and how I'm working on overcoming that. So again, I kind of have a lot of stuff on my plate and I'm looking through my things that I wanted to accomplish this month, and I see myself falling short a little bit. And again, like I said, I have a lot going on with my business, with my podcast, with my daytime job, my 9 to 5, right? And I'm working on trying to fit time in between that to focus on getting some of these goals accomplished. So first of all, I do have a calendar. I do have a whiteboard. And I do have, my notebook where I have things written down of what I want to accomplish for the month or whatever. But sometimes, you look at these things and you write them down and they look like so much. So I, as a treasury analyst, like to break things down on a smaller level so that way I can actually, chomp on them little by little. And so, I was looking at them and I noticed that I was a little behind schedule. And some of it is because of letting other things get in the way. And sometimes it's fear, that it's not going to come to fruition because I'm already putting that in my mind instead of me canceling that out and, saying, okay, this is going to be accomplished and this is going to work. So, just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I've been working on listening to positive affirmations and doing my affirmations on a daily basis as well. That's another thing. You have to start affirming those things are going to come into fruition in your life. You got to start affirming, things that you want to have accomplished as if they were already accomplished. And I've been slacking off on that too, guys. I'm being honest here and I'm being raw. And so the other day, these past 2 days, I've been getting up really late. And, when you get up late, and when I say late, I have to start work at 7:30. So, and I'm working from home temporarily. And I find myself getting up at 7 o'clock. And I have to start at 7:30. Now, mind you, I'm just going from one room to the next. However, it's not giving me enough time to get up in the morning, let my brain process that I am up, you know, say my prayers, say my affirmations. And so, today I sat down with myself and I had a little conversation. Like, girl, I'm gonna need you to get it together, because those things that I have not been doing to start my day off is really trickling down to everything else for the rest of the day. Like, I'm not getting up earlier so that I can, do my little prayer. I can do my affirmation and kind of get myself together. I like to sit for a few minutes and just kind of pray on what I need to accomplish for the day. And I haven't been doing that lately, and it's really showing. And I believe that that's the enemy working and stopping me, because he knows that I have stuff that needs to get out there, right? And including my podcast, because last week I didn't process a podcast. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, girl, you were so busy on doing other things that you forgot to focus on what you needed to focus on. And, sometimes I fear that even though I feel led, I felt led to start this podcast, and I still feel like God is asking me to get down and dirty with this podcast. I have not been doing everything that I needed to do, in fear that is not going to work, in fear that, not trusting, right? Do you ever feel like what you're doing, you're not trusting it because you're not sure? Like the fear of the unknown, right? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. And a lot of the times that happens to us when we are getting to our goal, when we are succeeding in what we need to do, right? Or what we want to do, rather, not need to do, what we want to do. And what, I always say that God puts things in your heart because this is something that he wants you to accomplish, right? So we all have things that we need to accomplish, whether you believe in God or believe in the universe. There are things that you need to accomplish in life. You have a mission in life, right? And I sometimes feel that the enemy plays on my fear and stops me from doing certain things. And the fear kind of overcomes me. Why? Because those days that I wake up late, that I'm not feeding my mind, that I'm not feeding my soul, and not putting on my full armor of God, it's causing me to be distracted by so many other things in my life, right? Because I do have a busy schedule. I have a full-time job, right? Which we will say my 9 to 5, even though I don't work 9 to 5, I work 7:30 to 4:30. But your 9 to 5 job, plus I have my side business that I'm running, and then I have my podcast, and I need to prepare for that. And sometimes, like I said, this is a raw podcast today. So I don't have any plans. I didn't have anything planned exactly of what I wanted to say. But I did want to kind of talk on this because I'm having an issue with it. And I'm sure that I'm not the only person. I'm sure that there are other people who, you know, say, you know what, I'll leave it for tomorrow. You know what? And then tomorrow comes and I'll leave it for tomorrow. Oh, you know what? I'll leave it for Monday. I'll start over on Monday. And those delays are delaying you from your greatness, right? It's delaying you from achieving your goals. And guess what? That's the enemy stopping you from achieving what you need to achieve. Because why? He doesn't want you to win. He doesn't want you to win. So, I just started to pray. I started to look at my prayers that I have on my wall that is for combating fear, right? I have 5 versions of the Bible where it talks about combating fear. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll say one, Isaiah 43:1. But now this is what the Lord says. He who created you, Jacob, he who formed you, Israel, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. And so that kind of reminds me, hello, you got the King of all kings behind you. And no matter what you do, God is there to protect you. But you have to feed. You have to feed your brain. You have to feed your brain. You have to affirm the goodness in your life for you to see it. Because if you don't, the enemy knows where the vacancies are in your mind. And he will start planting seeds there. Right? And then those seeds start to grow and overcome the positive in your mind. And then you start to feel the negative. You start to hear the negative. You start to doubt yourself. You start to talk bad to yourself. How many times have you not said to yourself, Coño, you're so freaking stupid. Why did you do that? I can't believe that you did this. Or even saying to yourself, you know what? Yo, I can't believe you gained so much weight. Yo, do you look horrible? Right? Have you not said things like that to yourself? So whenever you feel those or you hear yourself talking that way, it's hard to remove the negative and put in a positive. But instead, right, you want to, in order for you to kind of like push away those negative conversations, you want to start saying to yourself, child, you look good. Never mind what anybody else has to say. If you are comfortable in your skin, then you're fine. Now, granted, not everybody's going to feel that way, right? Because sometimes I say to myself, oh my goodness, I can't believe I gained 5 pounds. Now I got to figure out how to lose the weight. Okay, until you get to that point where you're feeling comfortable in your skin, keep feeding the positive words. Keep saying to yourself, yes, I am not where I want to be, but I am reaching that goal. Again, I am not where I want to be, but I'm reaching the goal. And that's going to cut that negative thought of, oh my God, I'm so fat, right? Or, oh my God, I can't believe I've gained this much weight. Or, for people who have issues with not gaining weight, right? Because there are people who don't gain weight and they want to gain weight and things like that. Be comfortable in your skin at the moment. Start talking positivity to yourself. And while you're combating that fear, you also have to build the faith, right? So on my page of prayer to combat fear, I also have a column of prayers to build faith. And I have 5 Bible verses there that I say as well. And, obviously so many people know this one, Philippians 4:13, where it says, I can do all things through him who gives me strength, right? But there are a lot of other versions of faith, building your faith in the Bible. And one of them, another one here is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Chapters 5 and 6. I'm sorry for those who are not, into the Bible. I'm not claiming to be a pastor or anything like that. But I just read some of the versions of the Bible. I mean, the versions, some verses of the Bible. And so Proverbs 3, chapters 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. So just think about that, right? Whenever you're feeling that fear, just know that you got to keep praying about it and keep talking to God and keep working on you, because you can do anything that you want to. I used to tell my children that all the time when they were young. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. You just have to put in that effort. And sometimes I have to say that to myself as well. Because I had a lot of, issues going on when I was younger too. So some of those childhood traumas also come back into your life, right? And sometimes it stops you from moving forward, and it stops you from working towards things that you can accomplish, but your mind puts that doubt in your head. So anyway, I also listen to podcasts. I also listen to positive affirmation videos and things like that to kind of help me move forward whenever I have those moments of weakness, right? And we all have them, right? We all have moments of weakness where we feel that, we're not ready, or, we're not good enough. Just know that you are. You are good enough, and you were chosen. You were chosen to do what you need to do. And sometimes when you are chosen for that specific mission, there are people that you have to let go. And sometimes, you have to put so many other things aside in order for you to accomplish those goals. And it's nothing against the person or the people who are around you. It's about what you need to do to accomplish your mission. And now sometimes there are people who are around you that you need to get away from because they're not positive and they're not really there to support you. And these are some of the things that you need to look at when you are working on your goals, right? Or kind of step back. And I'm not saying, eliminate talking to them for the rest of your life, but for the moment when you need to do things to accomplish your goals, sometimes that's going to include not being there for certain events, not being there for certain activities, and some may not understand that, but when you're on a mission to accomplish your goals, there are going to be many, many people who are not going to understand your hustle. So you still got to keep going forward and keep moving forward and keep doing what you need to do. Just make sure that you are writing down your goals, that you are doing your playbook, right? Is what I kind of call it. I have a notebook that it has my playbook of what I want to accomplish, the things that I want to do, and and scratching off what you have done already. Remember to always, how do you say that? Remember to always give yourself credit. Even if you did not accomplish the full thing that you wanted to accomplish for the month, right? Give yourself credit for what you did do, because that's a step forward. That's moving forward. Whether you think so or not, don't beat yourself up all the time if you did not accomplish something fully, but you did partially, right? This is a raw podcast, just me talking, just trying to get over some of the things where I'm beating myself up for. Where I'm beating myself up for not accomplishing everything that I wanted to accomplish. Now, granted, I still have a week and a half left to complete my goals and, keep moving forward. You can't think about yesterday. Yesterday already passed. We all have 24 hours. And it's what we choose to do within those 24 hours. Once those 24 hours are wasted, thank you, Jesus, that we have another 24 hours. If you wake up tomorrow, say thank you. Thank you, because that means that you have more time to get what you need to get accomplished. And let me tell you something, not everybody's going to wake up tomorrow. Not everybody's going to be able to see that sun rise. And this is something that I'm telling you. With everything going on with this pandemic, with everything going on in this world right now, when you look at things, that it is a gift to be able to wake up the next day, to be able to see your friends, to be able to see your family, to be able to walk, to talk, because not everybody has that gift. So, guys, I'm going to give you a few of the podcasts and things that I do to help me when I guess I fall off the wagon kind of deal. When my days are so crazy, where I'm waking up late. And again, I know that this is the enemy trying to stop me from progressing, putting doubt in my mind that I should not be doing this podcast, putting doubt in my mind that this podcast is not going to reach thousands and thousands of people. And that's because God put that in my heart to start this podcast. Because not everybody on here is going to talk about something they've overcome already. They're going to talk about things that they are going through and how they are fighting to get across the finish line. So guys, again, thank you so much for listening to this raw podcast. Thank you so much for supporting me here on this podcast. I appreciate every single one of you. I am so thankful, so thankful. So really quickly, just to end this podcast, I just wanted to say, and I'm not getting any payments for this or anything like that, but what has helped me can probably help you as well. I've been listening lately to Unlocking Greatness with Zenja Glass, and her name is spelled Zenja Glass. I listen to her podcast, but her podcast is also on YouTube, and it's called Unlocking Greatness, right? And then I also listen to follow that fear podcast, which is Cat Del Carmen, CAT Del DEL Carmen CARMEN. And so Deraj Global can be found on Instagram, DERAJ, and then Global, GLOBAL. Again, I'm not getting paid to sponsor these people. However, I listen to these people when I feel myself having issue with fear, or I need just some affirmations, or I need to lift myself up. And then I also have my list of prayers for fear and building faith. And those are the ones that help me throughout the times when I'm feeling stuck, when I'm feeling like I'm not accomplishing my goal. This helps me to feed my brain the positivity that I need. Again, thank you so much, guys, for listening to this podcast. And again, if there are any episodes that you have enjoyed, please share it with your friends and family. Again, these podcasts are not like the regular radio. There is no algorithm like the social media. So whatever you do, if you share this with your friends, I will be so appreciative. Thank you, guys, and I hope that you have a miraculous day. Bye.